رحم الله من يقرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على يا محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله أنها قالت: دخل علي أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله في بعض الأيام فقال: السلام عليك يا فاطمة. فقلت: عليك السلام. قال: إني أجد في بدني ضعفا. فقلت له: أعوذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال: يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به. فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به، وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلؤلؤ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت: عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال: يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت: نعم، إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت: عليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي: يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت: نعم، إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال: السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت: وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال: يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، وأتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له: وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء، ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت: السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال: وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء، فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومى بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال: اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخايستي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم، وسلم لمن صالمهم، وعدو لمن عاداهم، ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلك كي يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلك يسري، إلا في محبة هؤلاء خمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال أمين جبرائيل: يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: يا هم أهل بيتي النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل: يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله: نعم، قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام، ويقول لك: وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله: وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله، فإنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء، فقال لأبيه: إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول: إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبي: يا رسول الله، أخبرني ما لجوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله: والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذن والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله: يا علي، والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، وفيه مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه، ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه، ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذن والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. رحم الله من يقرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، خاتم النبيين، شفيع المذنبين، رحمة للعالمين، مولانا وسيدنا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض، مولانا حجة ابن الحسن عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, tonight is of course the Wiladat of our 10th Imam, Imam Ali al-Naqi alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And it's also the final lecture of this first installment on yearning for Imam Mahdi, Imam Sahib al-Zaman, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu al-Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So we will come to one of the ahadith of Imam Ali al-Naqi later on, inshallah. But first let me lay out this final installment. Once I'm done with these lectures, inshallah, I think it'll number around 15, if I'm not mistaken. Around 15 is what it's looking like right now. Inshallah, we'll do them in segments, like if we get a few in a row, then I can do a second installment, a third installment, inshallah. Azizan, you've all asked me, many of you have asked me different questions regarding this series. One of them is, Sheikh, when are you going to tell us how to gain istirar? I'm telling you one thing, I'm not going to tell you how to gain istirar until you feel the need for istirar. Once you feel need for something, see, the human being, we don't have to be too prescriptive in this world. Once you feel a deep need for something, believe me, you'll find a way to feel istirar. That feeling of istirar will grow in you. Let me tell you, Ayatollah Ahmad Mianaji, great personality. Ayatollah Ahmad Mianaji, he used to say to his students that when you recite your du'as, recite them in the state of a muztar. Recite them in the state of a muztar, so that they are accepted and they can ascend towards Allah. And then he used to say, and if you don't believe me, allow me to pray that you become muztar, so that your du'as get accepted in front of Allah. I want to really ask you from the depth of your heart, do you want to be muztar? Do you want to feel in a state of distress? Do you want to feel in a state of emergency? Or are you happy in your lives and maybe we don't need, na'udhu billah, maybe we feel we don't need the rescue of Imam Zaman. Maybe we don't need the faraj of Imam Zaman. This is a big problem. Huge problem. If someone really, at the moment, I'm sure no one is like this. Believe me, husn zan towards you, Azizan, is at its utmost. Husn zan is there, but I'm sure no one is like this. But if anyone really feels that what is the need of Imam Zaman, then that is really an emergency situation in itself and we have to address it. Anyway, in tonight's lecture, for this final installment, I'm going to be talking about the 3 types of istirar. When we say istirar, what do we mean, aslan? What are we talking about istirar? What state of why should we feel a state of emergency? There are 3 basic ways of looking at this. Let's look into them with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The first type of istirar is, we will call it istirar for one's worldly needs. Okay? Istirar for one's worldly needs. See, our lifestyles, the place we live in, generally speaking, I'm just making a very general comment. Generally speaking, our lives are fairly comfortable if you look at the rest of the world. We need, for example, we've got, generally speaking, we can meet our expenses, or we have ways of meeting our expenses. Generally speaking, when we want to get from A to B, we can get from A to B. Generally speaking, if you're ill, well, maybe not in today's climate, but in the past, when you were ill, you could get a doctor's appointment. Maybe not today so much. Generally speaking, our lives are quite comfortable. However, so we don't feel much istirar, that's the point. We don't feel much istirar, definitely, in our daily lives. However, there does come a time sometimes when all of a sudden, your life, for whatever reason, it hits an obstacle. Something happens, a trauma happens. All of a sudden, for example, I don't know, someone dies. All of a sudden, parents divorce. All of a sudden, house becomes repossessed. All of a sudden, your debts increase. All of a sudden, illness comes. You had no idea, you had no imagination that this would happen, but all of a sudden you're diagnosed with a serious illness. All of a sudden something happens. That brings a level of kind of hopelessness where now I don't know what to do. I can't look at these normal ways of getting out of my problems, and all of a sudden you feel in a state of istirar. This is called istirar towards the worldly things. Tell me, Azizan, from the bottom of your heart, when you are in that situation, when nothing is working, you can find no way out, all of the normal ways of solving your problems, they leave you and they turn their backs on you, and for whatever reason now, doctor can't help you, bank can't help you, friends can't help you, family, nothing can help you. Where do you turn? How special do your du'as become in that moment? How much more beautiful are your du'as in those few minutes? How much more lengthy are your sujood in those few days? How much more heart, dilti, you are reciting your namaz, you are reciting your prayers. Why? That is the feeling of istirar. And Allah will give us this from time to time. He will give us this istirar. And we should thank Him for this, because it wakes us up. It makes us think of Him more. It makes our supplications and our du'as a little bit better and more quality. So sometimes we have istirar in the needs of this worldly life. One occasion, in the holy mosque of Jamkaran in Iran. On one occasion, someone was there. On a Tuesday night, you go to Jamkaran, you're looking at 100,000 plus people. Over 100,000 people on any Tuesday night you can expect will visit Jamkaran. One of the mu'mineen was there. He was met by Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. This mu'min says to Imam, he says, Imam, look at all these 100,000 and more people who have come for you. Imam, when is your zuhur going to happen? He says to him, listen to me, do you really think they've come for me? He said, of course they've come for you. Why else would people come to Jamkaran on a Tuesday night? He said, let me allow you a moment to listen to what they are saying. Imam allowed him for a moment to hear those du'as and whispers of all those people that were around at the time. What did he hear? One person was saying, Imam, help me relieve my debt. One was saying, Imam, I'm ill, help me in my illness. One was saying, Imam, my house is under threat, help me. One was saying, Imam, my daughter is not getting married, help me to get married. One was saying, another worldly thing, another worldly thing. Imam said, do you see how many of them have actually come for me? How many have come for me? They've all come for their own worldly desires. Now, Azizan, I'll tell you something. Is this wrong? Is it wrong to ask for your worldly desires? Do we not raise our hands in prayer all the time asking for increased rizq, increased barakat, increased health? We say in all our du'as after the namazes, oh Allah, give us more rizq, more health, give us good bodies, good, for example, families. We ask for these things. So is it wrong? Definitely it's not wrong. Definitely it's not wrong. Please do not let anyone ever tell you that your du'as for worldly things are wrong. They are not wrong. It is not wrong. In fact, we have in hadith that ask Allah even for the salt in your food and the laces on your shoes. Beseech Allah even for the salt in your food and the laces in your shoes. So it's definitely not wrong. Please do not let anyone tell you not to pray du'as for these things. However, we have to make a point here. However, it is not purely for the sake of wali khuda. It is not. Let's be honest about that. It's not wrong. You should never stop someone from reciting these things. We must recite these things. Why? The religious explanation is this. The religious explanation is, inshallah, people in this worldly life will feel a need towards God, reach out to Him, and with this kind of bahana ne hame su kesu? Excuse, some kind of lame excuse, a bahana. With this kind of bahana, they will at least reach out to Allah, then hopefully they will taste some of the sweetness of talking to Allah, and then they will fall in love with Allah properly. That is the religious way of looking at it. It's okay. To pray for your worldly desires is okay. But it's not the best. It's not purely for the sake of Imam Zaman. Let's have a loud salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So, for example, when we call out to Imam Zaman, when we call out to Aimma alayhimus salam, when we go for ziyarat, typically speaking, it's when we're in a problem. Typically speaking, it's when life is not going well. Haj Ismail Dulabi, what a man, not even educated in the worldly sense, but a deep sense of ma'rifat, a deep sense of irfan. Haj Ismail Dulabi, you know what he says? He says, why do you mu'mineen only come to Ahlulbait when you are in problems? He had a special relationship with Imam Raza. Imam Raza alayhi salam used to speak to him. He used to say, Imam Raza alayhi salam has told me himself, tell the people, why do they only bring their sadness? Tell them to also bring their happiness. I like to see them smile. It's always that when we have a problem, Haya, book a ticket to Karbala, I'm in a problem. Haya, I have a problem, book a ticket to Mashhad, I need to go and see Imam. There is an amount of selfishness here. There is a sort, again, Hat jorke, it's not wrong, but it's not the best way to do it. In the time of the Abbasids, may Allah curse them, in the time of the Abbasids, someone was in the presence of the 6th Imam, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And he was seeing the riches and the power in the hands of the Abbasids. Incredibly powerful, incredibly rich in a worldly sense. He was seeing the riches and the power in the hands of the Abbasids, and he let out a sentence. He said, Mata al-Faraj, when will the rescue of Ahlul Bayt come? When will this Faraj of the awaited Savior come? When will the world turn in a way that the power comes back into the hands of Ahlul Bayt? Very good dua, an extremely good dua, something that we would even think about. Imam turns around and says to him, this is from the aspirations of the world. No problem. You want Ahlul Bayt to come into power? Definitely. But we are not here, the Ahlul Bayt are not here just to simply facilitate that all of a sudden your debts are paid, your bodies are healthy, that your families are taken care of. They're not there for that. Why are they there? If they're not there for these worldly things, then why are they there? Let me tell you, they are there to make the people into the likes of Abu Zar and Salman Farsi. That is why they exist. Ahlul Bayt are there to build human beings. They're not there to pay off our debts and settle our petty disputes and squabbles. Yes, they do that as well. That is their mercy, that is their magnanimity. But really they are there to create people and to build people like Salman and Abu Zar. Salman and Abu Zar. Let me just say a word on this. Amirul Mu'mineen was asked, tell me about Abu Zar. Someone says to him, tell me about Abu Zar. He said, قَدْ مُلِئَتْ وِعَاؤُهُ. His container, his capacity was full. In other words, he achieved as much as he could achieve. His container was full. The amount he could take, he took. Then they said, tell me about Salman. Amirul Mu'mineen says, what do I tell you about Salman? The Salman who has ilmul awwaleen wa ilmul akhirin. The knowledge of the former generations and the knowledge of the later generations. What do I tell you about Salman? This is why Ahlul Bayt existed. This was their mission. So number one, the type of iztirar that we tend to have is that we tend to look at the Imams, and especially Imam Zaman, that he will come, things will get better, life will be easier, poverty will be taken away, people will have no longer any need. In that sense, Imam will fulfill these things. Definitely true, 100% true, but it's not the best way of developing iztirar. Let's look at the second way now with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The second thing to have iztirar for is for the sake of the hereafter. We have the dunya, we have the hereafter. First one was for the world. Second one is for our hereafter. Now our focus goes towards the life hereafter. Because we know a couple of things. We know, number one, we are not really created for this 50, 60, 70, 80 years of life in this world. We're not created for this. We are created for an everlasting life after this world. Number two, we know that after the Holy Prophet, we need guides. The Quran is no longer sufficient for us on its own. All of the Muslims throughout the world, whatever sect you belong to, every single Muslim will look at the Quran as their authority, yes, but you see each and every one of them looking at the Quran in a different way. Each of them interpreting the Quran in a different way, so we need Ahlul Bayt at all times to carry on this message. So we are waiting for this Imam, the true successor of Rasulullah, to come and to lead us into a better hereafter, to make our hereafter better. Okay, so many people will have iztirar to say, Khudaya, I want my Imam because I want him to lead me into a better life hereafter. Khudaya, I need my Imam because I don't want to go into hell, I want to go into heaven. Khudaya, I need my Imam because without him I cannot find the true path of Islam. So this is iztirar for the hereafter. Is there anything wrong in this? No, not at all. Nothing wrong in this type of iztirar at all. It's a very, very good iztirar. Some people, they come along and they say, you shouldn't do things for heaven because it's greed, and you shouldn't do things for hell because, you know, it's selfish. And we have the hadith of Amirul Mu'mineen where he says those who do things for heaven are like businessmen, and those who do things to escape from hell are like, slaves. Yes, for sure, it's not the best way of doing things, but there's nothing wrong. If someone says, for example, right now, oh Allah, khalisni minan nari ya Rab, Save me from the fire of hell, O my Lord. What's wrong in that? There's nothing wrong. Ahlulbait have given us these du'as. So there's nothing wrong. But is it the best? Is it the utmost? No, it's not. Why? Because, to give it the religious angle again, let me explain the religious angle. If you say to someone, you're doing this to escape from hell, what will they say? They'll say, yes, because hell is a manifestation of the anger of Allah, the unhappiness of God, that somehow I have earned the displeasure of the Almighty, and this reflects in hell. And heaven is reflective of the mercy of God, the reward of God, the kindness of God. It manifests those qualities of God, which I've done something good, inshallah, and He's rewarding me for it. This is istirar for the hereafter. Nothing wrong with it at all, but it's not the best. It's not the best way to look at things. There is still in there a hint of selfishness. Although we have so many du'as which say, oh Allah, save me from the fire of hell. Give me the bounties of heaven. Yes, but there is still a tinge of selfishness in this regard. We have a great scholar of the past, Sheikh Murtaza Zahid of Tehran. Sheikh Murtaza Zahid was an extremely pious, aesthetic individual, and there are many, many stories about him. He had a friend, Agha Karim. He had a friend called Agha Karim. Agha Karim was someone that the ulama used to go to Agha Karim because Agha Karim, it was confirmed that he used to have regular meetings with Imam Zaman. So the ulama would actually make an effort to go to this Agha Karim. After Agha Karim died, Sheikh Murtaza Zahid started to actually give the stories of what used to happen with Agha Karim. In one story, he says the following. He says, Imam Zaman met with Agha Karim. And they had a conversation. How beautiful. If only we could meet Imam Zaman and have a conversation. They met, they had a conversation. Imam said to him, let me show you your position in heaven. He said, okay. Imam showed him his position in heaven, whatever that means, whatever kind of vision that was. He showed him his position in heaven. Agha Karim asked Imam, he said, Imam, in this position, are you also there? Imam said, no, I'm not. Because obviously Imam is in a far higher position than a normal person. Imam said, no, I'm not in that position with you. He says, then I don't want that position, take it back. This is now bringing us into the third level of istirar. First level was worldly. Second level was ukhravi and hereafter. Third level, istirar for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually feeling istirar because basically you miss something. Sometimes you're away from your friends, your family, your children, your parents. How much do we love our parents? How much do we love our children? There are times when for whatever reason, all of a sudden you're away from your family. You miss them. I'll ask you a question, but what do you want with them? You'll say, no, it's not about wanting anything. I just miss them. Okay, so when you meet them, what will you do? Nothing. I'll just enjoy being in their presence. I'll just enjoy that closeness with them. It's hard to even describe and explain. When your kids are away from you, you feel, I miss them. I want to go back to them. But why? There's no why. I just want their company. Your parents, I want to do something for my parents. Why? I just want to see a smile on their face. Khub. This level of istirar, this third level of istirar, is when a person says to himself, I don't want anything from Imam Zaman. I don't want any worldly thing. I don't even want anything in the hereafter either. For me, a smile on the face of Sahibul Asr is enough. Just that I know that my Imam is happy, just that I know my Imam's heart for a second felt a degree of happiness, just for a second that Imam being linked with all the other Aimma alayhimus salam, just the fact that Janab Fatima is happy with me, just the fact that Amirul Mu'mineen is happy with me is enough. This is enough. This is istirar for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Istirar for Waliullah. Istirar for Waliya Khuda. Okay, let's go back one step. We said for heaven and hell, that there is a religious explanation. We can say, heaven is the manifestation of Allah, being His mercy, His kindness, His reward, His kindness, His lutf, His karam. Hell is the manifestation of the anger of Allah, that He's not happy with you, that He is muntaqim, for example, He is qahar. All of these other names of God are manifesting in hell. Well, I'll tell you the third level of istirar. When you are mustar for the wali of Allah, then what? Then actually you are mustar, if you can grasp this point, you are mustar for the ism a'azam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam is ism a'azam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam, Ma'asum Imam, Amirul Mu'mineen and all the Aimma alayhim wassalam, they are nothing more than the ism a'azam of Allah, the greatest name of Allah, which incorporates all of Allah's attributes and manifestations. This is true istirar. This is really the istirar where we need to be. Istirar for the wali of Allah, for the sake of Allah. Just to be in His presence, just to feel His happiness, just to see His happiness. Can you bring a smile to the face of Imam Zaman? Can you bring some happiness into the heart of Imam Zaman? Just for the sake of Imam Zaman being happy. And that should be enough for you. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This is why, I think I'll end with this and then one hadith of the 10th Imam. This is why we have in the Quran, right? We have this in the Quran, Surah Zumar, I think. وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ. Yes, we have this in the Quran, right? وَسِيقَ الَّذِينَ. Allah says, on the Day of Judgment, a group will be driven to hell. And then it says in another verse, a group will be driven to heaven. Driven to hell we can understand, because no one wants to go to hell, so the angels will have to drive them and push them towards hell. What about driven to heaven? Why would people need to be driven to heaven? Surely we would be running towards heaven. Surely there would be no need for the angels to drive us towards heaven. We should be running towards heaven ourselves. Higher. This was one of the understanding of one of the ulama. He said, I struggled with this verse. I didn't know what it meant until I read this hadith. The hadith is this. On their Day of Judgment, there will be a group of people that when they see the face of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. When they see the face of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, they will cling to him and surround him, and they will not want to leave him. And they will be told, the people of heaven, the inhabitants of heaven will say, why are they not coming? They can enter. They will be told, we don't want to leave Hussein. So this alim, he says, this is when I linked these two things. This is when this verse made sense to me. Why would people be driven towards heaven? One of the reasons is this. They see Imam Hussein alayhi salam and they say, this is our heaven. This is our heaven. This is where we want to be. Azizan, to bring a moment of happiness to Imam Zaman is the greatest honor. It is the greatest thing. Why? Because Imam Zaman is always looking for our happiness. Imam Raza alayhi salam is waiting for our happiness. Imam Ali alayhi salam in Najaf is waiting for our happiness. They share in our grief. They share in our happiness. We also try to share in their grief, to share in their happiness. One hadith and then we finish. An example of this, Sayyid ibn Tawus has written on this, the great Sayyid ibn Tawus. He said he was known for his extreme attachment and love towards Imam Zaman. And he leaves this as an advice for his son before he died. He said, my son, remember one thing. Remember this hadith and remember that your Imam is always watching out for you. And he narrates, he says that during the time of Imam Ali al-Naqi alayhi salatu wassalam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. One of the Shias wrote to Imam Ali al-Naqi and said to him, "Oh Imam, there are times people have issues, you know, these are my words now by the way. People have issues sometimes with tawassul, with istighatha. I don't understand when they read this kind of hadith, what will they do with their belief of not liking tawassul and istighatha?" This person writes to Imam. He says, "Oh Imam, there are times when just like I love to communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the same way that I like to speak with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I like to speak with you as well. There are times when I feel, I wish Imam was here, I could say something to him. I wish Imam was here, I could give him my issues. I wish Imam was here, I could tell him my problems. I wish Imam was here, I would ask him for his advice. There are times when I speak to Allah in the same way that I would love to speak with my Imam, but I don't have my Imam with me. Now what do? Well, I don't have my Imam with me means, for example, either Imam is unavailable, under house arrest, in prison, or maybe they are far away, maybe he's in a different town, Imam is in a different town, different country, Imam is in a different country. I don't have my Imam with me. Now what do? Imam Ali al-Naqi says the following. He says, فَإِنْ كَانَتْ لَكَ حَاجَةً. Whenever you feel a need, whenever you feel the need to speak to me, whenever you feel that you need something from me, whenever you feel any issue or problem, فَحَرِّكْ شَفَتَيْكَ. All you need to do is wherever you are in the world, just move your lips and speak. فَإِنَّ الْجَوَابَ يَأْتِيكَ. The answer will come to you. Imam Ali al-Naqi. Our Imam is exactly the same. They have the same sunnah, they have the same practice. فَحَرِّكْ شَفَتَيْكَ. Just speak with Imam Zaman. Just speak with Imam Zaman. Tell him, Mawla, where are you? In which place are you? How are you doing? Are you in pain? Are you upset at something? I wish Allah brings your heart coolness and tenderness and gives you peace and gives you security. Imam, are you somehow in a situation where maybe you are ill? May Allah give you health. Imam, is the situation of this world, this genocidal, racist world that we live in, is it bringing your heart pain? Imam, tell me, what can I do? Inspire me to do something to relieve your heart of this pain. Imam, when I'm sitting and I'm speaking to you, does this bring a smile on your face? Imam, if you smile, this is everything for me. Speak to Imam Zaman. Do things for Imam Zaman. Gift your a'mal to Imam Zaman. You'll see the difference in your lives, inshallah. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the wasila of the 10th Imam. Khudaya bari ilaha, O Allah, hasten the appearance of our 12th Imam. Allow us to be in his group when he comes. Remove the zulm of the zalimeen from this world. Help the mazlumeen of this world. Khudaya, this genocide, this racism, this massacring, this slaughtering, Khudaya, bring peace in this world through any means that you deem necessary. Khudaya, these criminals of the world, hold them to account. Do not allow them to escape the justice of this world and definitely not the justice of the hereafter. Khudaya, our maraji, wherever they may be, O Allah, grant them a long life. Give them sihat kamil. Give them a long life so that they may lead us through these turbulent times. Khudaya, our mu'mineen and mu'minat, some of us have lost loved ones, some of us are celebrating marriages during these days. Ghadir is just around the corner. Mubahila is just around the corner. Khudaya, these are the days of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Khudaya, with the light, with the barakat, with the nur, with the authority, with the wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, bless the mu'mineen, inshallah. Khudaya, allow us the ziyarat of Karbala, of Najaf, of Mashhad, of Qom, of all the muqaddas cities of this world. Khudaya, your last luminary is dearly loved by these mu'mineen. Khudaya, instill in us the love of Imam Zaman even more. Khudaya, give us the tawfiq to be of use to Imam Zaman. Khudaya, give us the tawfiq to be of help for Imam Zaman. Khudaya, even if we die before the zuhur, Khudaya, you have said yourself, your A'immah have said themselves, that one who dies but has the love of us in his heart, when our Mahdi comes, he will raise them from the grave and they will be in his army. Khudaya, even if we are to die during these times, allow us to be raised and join the army of Imam Zaman. Mu'mineen, for the qubuliyat of the du'as, let's have a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Ahsan Shaykhuna for the beautiful lecture. Saturday, 22nd June 2024, 15th of Zul-Hajj 1445. Sad news, Marhum Mustafa Amir Ali Somji of Birmingham has passed away today. For burial details, please listen to the Birmingham answer phone on 0121 4400 643. Please recite Fatiha for the Marhum and all Marhumin. Majlis has been arranged at Carpenter's Park Cemetery on Sunday 23rd June at 2:30 p.m. Tuesday 25th June is Eid al-Ghadir. The program will start at 7:45 p.m. with Quran, and the lecture will be by Sheikh Shabbar Mahdi. Gents wishing to recite Marthia or Matam during the month of Muharram, kindly email recite@hujjat.org, and the deadline is the 27th of June 2024. The Dementia Coffee Morning will take place on Sunday the 30th of June from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Hujjat Stanmore. Further details can be found on the website. And kindly donate generously for Hujjat Stanmore refurbishment at the Treasury desk or online at hujjat.org. Please recite 5 times Du'a Amma Yujib for the following: Nishi Ladha, who is seriously ill, a brother who is in a coma in Birmingham, Ahmed Uncle Aladina, who had just had a knee surgery, and all those who are unwell. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma yujibul mudtarra idha da'ah wa yakshifu as-su'. Amma yujibul mudtarra idha da'ah ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. We will now have Qasida by Brother Hussein Mauji, followed by Ziyarat. Please welcome Brother Hussein with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. फैसलों को तकल्लुफ है हम से अगर हम भी बेबस नहीं बेसहारा नहीं खुद उन्हीं को पुकारेंगे हम दूर से रास्ते में अगर पाँव थक जाएंगे या अली या अली या अली या अली हमको जल्द बुलाओ नजफ या अली हमको जल्द बुलाओ नजफ या अली काश में मेहदी दौरा का ज़माना देखूं काश में मेहदी दौरा का ज़माना देखूं काश में मेहदी दोरा सामने मौला के जाकर कहूँ दिल की हाजत, सामने मौला के जाकर कहूँ दिल की हाजत। कब तलक दरिया में बहता ये अरीज़ा देखूं, काश में मेहदी दोरा का ज़माना देखूं, काश में मेहदी दोरा। सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद। दुहाई देगा कोई चीख चीख कर एक दिन, खिलाफ दीन नहीं है अली अली कहना। वो अपनी माँ की शिकायत करेगा महशर में कि उसने क्यों न सिखाया अली अली कहना, अली अली कहना। अली अली कहना, अली अली कहना। जानम फिदाए है दरिया अली अली अली। जानम फिदाए है दरिया अली अली अली। है मुहम्मद मेरा दिल तो सीना अली, मेरे जीने का वाहिद करीना अली। दीन इस्लाम का है नगीना अली, हक के मंजिल का पहला है जीना अली। दश्त में अब्र का पे मेरा मुर्शद भी आका भी मौला अली अली मौला अली। हर सू सदाए है दरिया अली अली अली। जानम फिदाए है दरिया अली अली। खून के मैदान में जब सबको रोका गया, दस्ते हैदर उठा कर नबी ने कहा, हुक्म खालिक भी है और रिज़ा भी मेरी है। ये एला हुआ हासिल जिंदगी जो नहीं है यहाँ, उनको भी हो खबर जिसका मौला हूँ मैं उसका मौला अली अली मौला अली। हर समत से सदा उठी या अली अली अली। जानम फिदाए है दरी जानम फिदाए है दरिया अली अली अली। जानम फिदाए है दरिया अली अली علي أفضل السلام والسلام عليك يا رسول الله محمد وآل محمد.
We still have time till Salah Hussein. I think the crowd wants a bit more. توجه زيارة please.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليكم يا أئمة الطاهرين. علي بن الحسين زين العابدين ومحمد بن علي الباقر وجعفر بن محمد الصادق وموسى بن جعفر الكاظم باب الحوائج وعلي بن موسى الرضا ومحمد بن علي التقي الجواد وعلي بن محمد الحادي النقي والحسن بن علي الزكي العسكري والحجة بن الحسن. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب الأسر والزمان، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان، عجل الله فرجه وسهل الله مخرجه وظهوره، والسلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. وصلى الله على الطاهرين.
break for Salah. Then after Salah, we will have Mustafa Al-Ali and Muhammad Kadhim Kanji. And then after that, we'll have a short dialogue just to find out their journeys and to see how we can learn from their journeys with the Quran, inshallah. So without further ado, we start with Brother Ali Akbar Dawji. Welcome him with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. If I request you all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, when the Quran is being recited, we listen. So if I can request us to please listen, and in fact maybe follow on our phones the recitation. We'll announce which passage they'll be reciting, so then at least we can all follow and appreciate the recitation of the Holy Quran. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, that's Allahumma salli. It's fine. I lost my page. It's 43, right? I lost my page. Yeah. Okay. Surah Fath, which is Surah. فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا ليغفر لك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا هو الذي أنزل السكينة هو الذي أنزل السكينة في قلوب المؤمنين هو الذي أنزل السكينة
في قلوب المؤمنين ليزدادوا إيمانا مع إيمانهم ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عليما حكيما. ليدخل المؤمنين والمؤمنات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ويكفر عنهم سيئاتهم وكان ذلك عند الله فوزا عظيما. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار على رسول الله وآله الأطهار. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. سورة المباركة الفاتحة.
Ahsant. Inshallah, if you can all turn your Qurans or phones to Surah Al-An'am, Surah 6, verse 94. Surah 6, verse 94. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد جئتمونا فرادا كما خلقناكم أول مرة وتركتم ما خولناكم وراء
وما نرى معكم شفعاءكم الذين زعمتم أنهم فيكم شركاء لقد تقطع بينكم وضل عنكم ما كنتم تزعمون إن الله فالق الحب والنوى يخرج الحي من الميت ومخرج الميت من الحي يخرج الحي من الميت ومخرج الميت من الحي ذلكم الله ذلكم الله فأنا تؤفكون فالق الإصباح وجعل الليل سكنا والشمس والقمر حسبانا فالق الإصباح وجعل الليل سكنا والشمس والقمر حسبانا ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم وهو الذي جعل لكم النجوم لتهتدوا بها في ظلمات البر والبحر قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يعلمون وهو الذي أنشأكم من نفس واحدة فمستقر ومستودع قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يفقهون الذي أنزل من السماء ماء فأخرجنا به نبات كل شيء فأخرجنا منه خضرا نخرج منه حبا متراكبا ومن النخل من طلعها قنوان دانية وجنات من أعناب والزيتون والرمان مشتبها والزيتون والرمان مشتبها وغير متشابه انظروا إلى ثمره إذا أثمر وينعه انظروا إلى ثمره إذا أثمر وينعه إن في ذلكم لآيات لقوم يؤمنون صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار على رسول الله وآله الأطهار